Morning, you guys. Welcome to Southern Latitudes. I don't know if you caught it in my last video, but my pool is not doing as pretty as it could have. And it is kind of getting to that season where I can't get in it. But with me being laid up last week, I did not keep up with the chemicals. So that's the first thing we're going to tackle today. Also, it has a slight leak somewhere on one of those side patches that fell off. So I got to find the material for that. I found this beautiful butterfly on the ground, and it doesn't really appear that he had much going on traumatically. The wing's kind of out of place. Poor thing. Miss Lulu, how is your carrot? Is it good? Next, though, I gotta start the seeds. Y'all saw, hopefully y'all already saw that, where I was pretty depressed after that losing of most of my cold weather crops. All right, y'all, I just finished up. I'm gonna dust it real lightly with a little bit of loose potting mix on top. But before I forget, I wanted to tell you, I actually went and priced last week, before any of this actually happened in my own garden. I was pricing vegetables that were already, you know, pre-starts about 4 inches tall. And Walmart had them about $3.50-ish. But I was shocked that Home Depot had them at $4.57 for each individual plant. Like one broccoli was $4.50. I mean, you can get them cheaper in the grocery store here in another month or so for that same price. Not that it's grown organically, but if you're doing this to save money, that's not going to save you money. That's why I'm restarting completely from scratch. And, you know, it is what it is as far as a loss of getting started early, but it doesn't mean we're not going to eventually be eating here with all these. So right before everything happened and I had to shut down, I did start these little cups. This is red roselle, and I know that this is really warm weather crops, so you may try to comment that down below, but I know it already. And I'm experimenting with overwintering these. I'll probably separate them, but then keep them in pots and put them in the shed for the winter. And then I'm hoping to have like a spring roselle crop, since the squirrels already decimated that part. And here, I just have little babies starting up. I don't know what those are. I'm supposed to have moringa in here. I doubt that's moringa. Although we know if we start seeing a pattern, then I guess it is moringa. I did start thyme over in this container. This one I'm still not sure. I think it's cilantro. It could be celery. Does that look like celery to you guys? It almost looks like celery, the way it's coming off the same little one stalk in there. I don't know. I may just separate them and then put them in separate cups, let them get, you know, to be 4 or 5 inches. That would be great if that's the celery that I thought I lost, because I don't know what happened to it. Over here, I started nasturtiums, and still kind of be soon to be seeing anything, but maybe sometime this week we'll see nasturtiums in here. I still have some leftover strawberries I gotta find a home for. The salsa garden is a hot mess again. Boy, I'm telling you, it's super happy with all that fresh mushroom compost. I cannot slow these down. They even got hit with the green hornworm, tomato hornworm, and you can see a couple of the stalks in the back there. Completely recovered, completely. Look, damage here, there, and these things didn't slow down one iota, nothing. So I'm gonna go in here and trim that. I probably won't show you guys much of that just because you just saw that. You know, I got to thinking as I was in here trimming that I really wanted to explain. You guys, I'm sure there's so many videos on how to trim a tomato, right? And they call this the sucker and all, and because they want the main shoot to go up, especially in a greenhouse scenario. They want the main shoot to grow up and be what produces the fruit. To me, now I suppose I learned it wrong, perhaps, or perhaps it was just a different concept way back when I think my dad learned it first and taught it to me, although I might be wrong on that. But I always thought the sucker was this branch, like I'm about to cut, because this is just, I know it's also a leaf, but this is not going to produce anything, and that's just sucking the life out of the nutrition of the plant. To me, that's a sucker. Now, I do realize you can take these now called suckers and start new babies off of them, and that's great. But in the home gardener scenario, I want to keep anything that can produce fruit, not just the main stalk here. I want this. This will eventually put out blooms too. So to me, this is not a sucker I would prune off in my home garden. I also need to add some of these garden staples because the weight of the tomatoes is pulling the cages right over. And that's an awesome problem to have. See, here's where I cut off the other suckers, but not the baby in the middle. And look at how great the baby in the middle is growing and going to produce flowers, which will then produce tomatoes. Well, look what I found right here. You see him? There's a tomato hornworm. Yay! And he's on a sucker. You guys know what I do with tomato hornworms? Hey, ladies. Mommy brought you a gift. Oh, yeah. See, they need clasping up. They love to crawl. I've noticed that especially with the cherry tomatoes. They really will get out of hand fast and they love to crawl. So I'm waiting any day. Look at the beautiful bloom. It's almost like a double bloom on these. I love those. And then look what I found over here on my Camparis. I found my first little tomato. So far, I haven't even got to the back section, but I found my first little Campari tomato. These are like a medium salad slicer type. I have this canister of Mexican sunflower vines, but over here, and the garbage men don't want to take that way. So I'm going to go ahead and at least cut them down because tomorrow's pickup. Here comes that second rack of bananas that I showed you guys. These are called hands. Second hand, third hand, fourth hand. Oh, we're gonna have quite a bit. Maybe 5 hands at least in there. Here's an update on the others. These are looking real good. Now we've just kind of come off about 2 weeks of very little rain. And so I don't think, they've grown very much in that 2 weeks time. Let me show you what else is new. My butterfly pea is finally made a late show. There's some down here too. And I've been trying to get it up to the trellis. And I had some up in here. Oh, well, it's spent now. But there's the bloom. But it was really pretty having blue in with the red. I thought that was really nice. This is the Lady Margaret passion flower. Well, we got some much needed rain. I'm actually very happy about that. It rained a little bit last night, like a 1/4 inch. And we're getting some nice little rain now. I got called away. Just so you know, there's like a gap in all these different little videos. I got called away to go help family members with something. So, look at my zinnia bloom today. That's pretty cool. And I'm on my way out here to pick some beans, but they're gonna be wet now. What do you think, bud? Huh? What do you think? Oh. Man, we got bored. There's water down at the front of the driveway. A lot of water down there. This was what I'm gonna do. What I was wanting to do. Pick a whole bunch of these butter beans. But no, they're wet, but I'm still gonna pick them. So it's a good simple job for me. Oh, look, there's a whole bunch down here. I don't want them unless they're dried. You can pick them green, but I just want the dried ones today. Oops. The squash has been blooming. I pollinated my first female zephyr squash today. Early this morning. This is a good job for me to do while it's raining. If it's gonna come back and rain a little bit more, I'll get all these peeled. They're real easy to peel, actually. These are Alabama butter beans. I'd rather be peeling these than a lot of other things. Look at the Turk's Cap hibiscus. It is going off in full bloom. You know, you can eat the tops of those blooms. They're delicious. And when it stops raining, it feels like it's going to get worse. One of my gingers died back, so I'm going to dig that up. So I left my cage out here for a reason. See in there, there's a little round thing. That's one of my winter squashes. And I did hand pollinate it. It was right here on the edge. It looks like a squirrel took a hold of it. And then I noticed that something took a bite out of the top of this one too. It is what it is, right? You're gonna lose a certain amount to critters. And look at that. Now that, well, it might have had a bite in it too, but that's a nice winter squash that took. That one's gonna keep, and there's probably many more out here, but it doesn't help if you keep losing stuff to critters. So I put the bait in there, and this has been sit for like 3 days. I didn't catch anything, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take it to the back. We're gonna set this for the rats or armadillo, whatever we got going on back there. Let's see. Alrighty. No snakes, no rats. Got 2 eggs today. Well, the pool's been getting bluer as the day goes on, so a jug of chlorine worked. And I gotta pick my Barbados cherries today. This one I'll leave. This one, I only picked the deep red ones. Wow, look at them all. Y'all, this is so good. Goodness, lots of goodness. I don't know how much longer it'll keep producing like this, but it's been doing this for quite some time. Ooh, do I leave this on one extra day? That one I better leave on. See, it's got a green shoulders on it. I'm gonna pull that only because it's so close to the fence. Those squirrels might think it's theirs and not mine. Show y'all something. So this comes back every year. And I see people talk about wild coffee. And I am so certain that that's what this is. So Bonnie from Wild Coffee or any of my other Florida friends, is that what this is? I'm pretty certain it is. And if it is, I'm gonna take and uproot this and move it over to the food forest and just kind of get it out of here. Now I grabbed some the end of a bad romaine, and I'm going to toss it in here. These guys want lettuce and celery and all that, and broccoli. That's what I'm going to put out there for them. Okay, there she is. It's dark. I know it's hard to see, but there's the lettuce and the have a heart trap. We'll see if we can catch anybody tonight.